Hello again. Hope you're doing well. I'm Hardleg Joe, if you didn't know, and today I'd like to talk to you about the culture war. This is a topic I normally wouldn't address on this channel because this channel is largely about politics. And while just about everything from the price of video games to the quality of the air we breathe is determined by politics in some way, I think that culture is one of the few things that shouldn't involve lawmakers. I mean, culture is all about individual expression. It's how you dress, how you speak, what media you consume, your religious affiliations. In just about every way, culture is tied very closely with personal freedom. And while I have a lot of criticisms for the United States, its historical stance on freedom is one of the few things that I absolutely agree with. I'm a very firm believer in the idea that as long as you ain't hurting anybody, you're free to do whatever you want. The government has no business telling you what to wear, who to marry, or what religion you should follow. It should not be peeking into your house to check if you're normal. It should be giving you the liberty to pursue happiness, whatever that means to you. Now, the strange thing is, whenever I sit down and talk with people, even really conservative people, all of them seem to agree with that notion. Everyone wants freedom. No one wants the government telling them what they can or can't do. No one wants laws telling them how to live their lives or how to raise their children. And yet, conservative politicians across this country are doing exactly that. They are passing laws that limit freedom of expression to thunderous applause. Look, let's not beat around the bush here. The culture war, as it exists now, is largely concerned with the LGBT community, and most specifically that last T. Transgender people have been the focus of a lot of legislation going around, despite the fact that they are a very small minority of the population. And look, I'm not here to tell you what it means to be transgender. I'm not going to tell you that you should have empathy for them or understand their plight, because frankly, I don't really care. If you want to think it's weird or gross to be transgender, you go right ahead. But the fact of the matter is, how a person dresses, how they speak, what they believe, is all a matter of personal freedom. You don't have to like it, but you should recognize that if someone wants to live their life as a man or a woman, if they want to change their name and wear different clothing, that is not the government's concern. And trying to make it their concern only opens the door for the government to further regulate personal freedom. If you truly appreciate life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, all those high ideals, then you should support trans people and push against the legislation that tries to make their lives more difficult. To put a twist on an old saying, I may not agree with how they live, but I will defend to the death their right to live that way. And if you believe in personal freedom, you should do the same. The issue is that simple. And any politician or influencer who tries to tell you otherwise has some ulterior motive in mind. Like, I don't usually like to assume bad faith arguments, but there really is no depth or nuance to this issue. Letting people use the pronouns they want does not cause harm. It is not an existential threat to our society. Not in the same way that powerful corporations or crumbling democratic institutions are. At best, the people pushing the culture war narrative are trying to distract you from the real concrete problems that are making your life worse. At worst, they are actively trying to do something nefarious. Many of them are straight-up authoritarians who want to take away personal freedoms and institute some kind of strict religious government. Many of them are simply fearmongers, People looking to score money or fame by scaring you into supporting them. They take advantage of the fact that trans people are a small, very misunderstood minority, and they just straight up lie about them. Because most people don't know any better. They can tell parents that trans people are a threat to their kids, despite zero evidence of that, because they are confident that most Americans are too stressed, too busy working, too tired to actually look into the situation and see if it's true. They are betting that you won't call their bluff. It is a power grab, plain and simple. They are hoping that if they can scare you, you'll give them power in the form of money or support, and you won't realize what a mistake that was until it's too late. The fact of the matter is, small communities and niche cultural topics don't have an impact on most of your lives. If you want to know why you're so tired and overworked, it's not because of trans people or critical race theory or wokeness. It's because of the factual economic conditions that exist in this country. Conditions that are the result of corporate lobbyists, investment firms, and billion-dollar media companies with little to no oversight. Those are the things that threaten your child's future. And those are the problems that we should be dealing with. In short, the entire culture war is bullshit, to be perfectly frank. The government should not have any say in what our culture is. And any politician or political pundit who says otherwise is either an amoral grifter trying to fleece people for money, or an authoritarian who wants to remove your freedoms. Anyway, that's all I have to say on the topic. I know most of my videos are longer than this, but that's because most of the issues I cover here have nuance and shades of gray to discuss. This is not one of those issues, and I hope I've conveyed clearly why that is. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, until next time, stay safe out there.